base art belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spyder1 and Mr. Factastic.
Welcome to Gamers Digest.
Welcome.
We are a gaming fan podcast. We talk about gaming news, rumors, video game, everything. I'm trying to think of like a new intro line because I say that like every show.
Because we're basically reiterating what the intro says.
Right.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough.
We are Gamers Digest and we talk about things and stuff and junk.
Mm-hmm.
So
Game related.
I
was tired today.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you came home kind of late. You said you were going to be off at 4. And you didn't get home until like 5:30.
Yeah, the thing that I had to tape was until 4.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was over at 4.
Yeah. So, today was a long day.
Oh, well. Well, we got some news. We got some reviews. No previews this week.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, not a whole lot of news. It was a pretty slow week this week.
Yeah.
But what did you play this week?
Played XCOM, both versions. You know, anytime
New and old.
New and old. I mean, the more I played the old version, the more I just like that one better. You know, I mean, I grew up with it pretty much. So, you know,
nostalgia plus.
Yeah, nostalgia plus all that time and experience. It's just
right.
Yeah, I've been playing it since '95. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I played the old XCOM. I started a Let's Play for the old XCOM, and it's called the Sports Challenge, where I'm naming all my soldiers after sports heroes and sports icons. Like, you know, I got like Tony Romo and Aaron Rodgers. You know, they're still alive on my roster. So
nice.
Joe Flacco died.
Oh well.
He let me down. He didn't make his shots.
Personality didn't hold him up.
Yeah, he didn't make his shots. I played L.A. Noire, and that'll be my review for this week.
Okay.
I'm gonna wing the review because I forgot to do my notes. I thought I would have time.
Yeah,
to work today.
I was like reading it. I was like good, bad, and then it goes to my review.
Yeah. So I'm gonna wing it. You
so
got a video, right?
Bad. I do have a video.
Okay, cool.
And it's gameplay video.
Awesome. All right, cool.
One of the missions.
All right. And played Terraria.
We started our Let's Play too.
Yeah, that was cool. I like Terraria.
It's simple, but it's in depth. And I mean, like you and I, we played for about an hour and a half, and we barely even touched the surface of the game.
I can see how a game like that can become really addictive.
Right.
You know?
And we're working on getting a third into that game, so there can be 3 of us. My grand vision for that was I wanted to do 2-on-2 and split people off in groups of 2, and then each take a side and build up castles and then war with each other. But
so that it does have PvP.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, you can turn it on. Since it was your first time, I figured.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, guys.
You were trying to mine copper with a sword. And
Yeah, I still can't place those torches down.
You'll get it. I started. Well, I tried to start my Let's Play XCOM for the new one, and I failed disastrously. I started on classic difficulty, which I've only played the game on easy and normal. But I started on classic difficulty, and I died on the first mission. So that was pretty rough.
That game will spank you on classic. I don't even want to try impossible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then I was like, all right, well, let me take it back, and I'll just do normal, and I'll go through normal. But I died on the second mission in normal, so I've kind of regulated myself to get a little better at that game if I want to do a Let's Play. So you guys might never see those videos. They're terrible.
Yeah, if I do a Let's Play for the new XCOM, I might. I mean, for the viewers for a Let's Play, they kind of want to see the challenge aspect for you. So classic difficulty is where you would want to be, but it's just,
and that's what I figured.
It's very tough.
Right.
It's very tough.
My commentating isn't that funny, so. Oh well.
So.
All right. Well, we got some news. I don't have the bumps loaded up, so we'll just go right into it. THQ. Let me pretend like I'm not just reading this off of a piece of paper. THQ delays Metro, The Last Light, Company Heroes 2, and South Park by 2 months. So those were their 3 big games coming out.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah. So. Company Heroes 2, I told you yesterday that game looks interesting. Like, it's with real-time strategy, World War II game. You know, World War II games are kind of like a rarity these days. They used to be like
everywhere.
They used to sell like hotcakes. Not anymore.
Yeah, but then the response is the next day THQ stock price dropped 50%.
50%. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think THQ will bounce back from this. I think it has the potential. I mean, we've had some bad news about THQ before. I mean, with all their, I think they can bounce back.
Yeah, I hope so.
So if you're an investing type, might be. I mean, while the stocks are low for THQ, why not invest in THQ? Because it will get back up.
What does that say? Their stock ended up at like 174.
Yeah, 174 a share.
That's pretty low.
It's pretty low, and I mean, eventually they're going to sell their new games. Those games
if they ever make it out.
Yeah, true. You got a good point there. So if those games ever come out, the stocks will rise, and I mean, watch them get I could see them eventually maybe getting a acquisition or something, or for an IP. I mean, if they're at this position now, they might be, go for the headshot,
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think they'll bounce back. THQ is a pretty resilient company, and they do have some pretty strong games in their lineup. I mean, they have I think they still have the wrestling license. I know they don't have the UFC license anymore.
Yeah, they lost that.
But they have the wrestling license. They have Saints Row. Saints Row. I mean, even if they just sold the license to Saints Row off, that would net them a good amount of money to at least restructure and get through whatever hard times. Because I don't honestly know what happened to THQ because they were huge.
They were huge
during our console wars Part 3 era.
Yeah, they were.
That's coming up later.
Yeah.
So, oh well. You want to do this one?
Oh yeah, PlayStation Plus users get Resident Evil 5 for free this month.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I haven't played Resident Evil 6 yet. I played the demo, and it's enough for me to just wait. And this is coming from a huge Resident Evil fan.
Yeah, I played the demo, and I can probably just get away with not playing it.
I could see where you're coming from. I feel obligated just because I am a Resident Evil fan. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, that's our other discussion topic. What happened to Resident Evil? Question mark. LOL.
Yeah.
As you put it. Man. But while you're checking that out, the new PlayStation Store design is up for North America finally, so you can finally see the pretty graphics.
Did you see it yet?
I did check it out a little bit. It is a lot better. Like, it is laid out a lot better. But it's still going to take some getting used to because
you're so used to the old clunky.
Right. As bad as the old one was, you adapt to it and you get used to it.
Yeah.
See, the old one, what I used to do is I would just type in what I wanted. Like, I'd search what I wanted, and then it would be right there.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember when for the Xbox, whenever they changed their user interface, it was so jarring when you first got it. And but I mean, yeah, I like that they constantly update.
Yeah.
Now the look.
You have the Xbox. Did they push out the Windows 8 update for that?
I think because I was like, hey, why does everything look so different?
The Metro-ish type thing.
I like it. I mean, I like the new update.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I've talked to said that the Metro interface is good. I mean, it's user friendly. So. Who's calling?
The school.
Oh. Time to go to school, huh?
My kid didn't show up to school today.
Oh. You have a kid?
Well, according to Glen Burnie, yeah.
That's pretty funny. I thought they'd be calling you for the snow.
His name is Brandon.
Brandon. Oh. Brandon Davis.
Brandon Davis, or we talked about some of my kid names yesterday.
Yeah. we'll stop there.
Yeah.
All right. So this one's more up your alley, though.
Oh yeah, Battlefield 3 Aftermath is right around the corner. The release is going to be on November 27th for the premium members.
Yes.
On PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes out a week earlier on PlayStation 3 than it does on Xbox. I mean, it's just staggered. The premium gets it first, and
for like a month, right?
No, a week.
Only a week?
It's a week.
Oh.
Yeah. So whatever. But we can also get Battlefield 1942 for free on Origin. You got to sign up. You got to go to their website and sign up for it. and you can get Battlefield 1942.
The very, very original
Yeah,
one.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, 1942 was cool.
Yeah.
So 38 Studios was sued by Rhode Island. We keep talking about them. They seem to bounce in and out of the news. They were sued by Rhode Island to try to get back the $75 million that they Rhode Island loaned to 38 Studios. That sucks.
It does.
Because that's going to come all out of Kurt Schilling, and he already is broke.
So didn't they go declare bankruptcy?
Right. So I guess some law somewhere, lawyers will find a way.
Yeah.
So, Castle Wolfenstein is going to be a movie. I could actually see that one working out as a movie.
Yeah, I could see it. The name. I mean, basically, it's yeah, I could definitely see it.
If they made a movie out of Doom, they could do Wolfenstein.
Yeah, they can do Wolfenstein. They can do. I mean, if they did Hellboy, they can do Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
So yeah. Assassin's Creed 3. This is kind of predictable. Sold 3.5 million units in its first week.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And watch Halo 4 do better.
Yeah.
Well, it
Halo
isn't 4. It isn't cross-platform though.
True.
So.
But I would predict Halo 4 would still probably outsell that. It's so awaited and so played. I mean, we were watching Twitch earlier.
Yeah, we were.
And it's like there are all kinds of people watching Halo and playing Halo. It's crazy. I need to get it quickly. A copy of Air Raid, which is a very, very old Atari game, very rare. In fact, there are less than 100 made, I think. Sold for $33,000 on eBay this week.
That's a lot of chunk. That's a big chunk of change. It's like 33,300 for how much was it? $433. Okay, $33,433.30. It's a lot of threes. Yes.
The number of copies are barely
into double figures.
Ooh, doing it live.
Yeah, doing it live. Yeah. You're allergic to.
I'm allergic to Air Raid apparently.
And
apply directly to the forehead.
Mm-hmm. So this is I mean, that's a lot of money. I wonder. I mean,
I wish I found that. Like, did you read the story on it?
Not yet.
Like,
no.
Basically, what happened is the guy worked at like at a store that sold video games. It wasn't even a video game store because back then they didn't have them. It was like it says like a grocery store or CVS or something. And the rep came in, and the rep gave him a copy of the game, and said, try to sell this. And the guy took it home and tried it, and he's like, oh, this is crap. So he took it back, and when the rep came back in, he was like, oh, I don't want to sell this. This isn't very good. And the rep's like, well, just keep it anyway. So that rep's got to be shooting itself right now.
Yeah.
So.
Hold on to your stuff, guys. Like original XCOM copies for the PlayStation, they sell for like, well, this is a couple of years ago. They were selling for like $80.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember like Mega Man 7 for Super Nintendo could sell for like triple digits, like
wow,
120, 130, if you had everything, like the box and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Dead Island Riptide is introducing a new character. We talked about Dead Island on and off, and I did a review on it. It's first-person, Fallout zombie type survival game. But Riptide is the sequel that's coming out next year. It has the original 4 characters, and then they introduced a new character based on a fan mod for the first one on PC. I actually have a video of that. So it's basically modeled after Fist of the North Star.
Nice.
Because it's a melee brawler. So we're going to go ahead and play
this,
and you guys can enjoy this. Now this is the model.
Oh.
Obviously, Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. Nice. I really like this. Cool.
とは戦いたくない。百裂剣浮上猛将お前の剣はすでに見切った。どうしたそれまでか。
It'd be really cool if like you had those punches where you like punch and it didn't do it was like a delayed reaction, like how it did this in the show. Yeah.
お前も友だ。
Either way, you guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. Like I want to pick it up for PC now and get that.
Yeah,
mod.
I mean that looks really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet have they done any Dragon Ball Z type things?
Oh, I'm sure. I haven't checked it out.
Throwing
But
fireballs at a zombie.
yeah, but it's cool that they added a character. Now, obviously, the character in the new one isn't going to be like that overpowered, but he is going to be based on like brawling. So you know, hand to hand, kicking, stuff like that, rather than relying on weapons and stuff. And they say he's going to be a more advanced character, but that's pretty cool that a fan mod inspired him.
I mean, look, speaking of being inspired by something, Walking Dead, and do you remember in episode 2, I believe, when you had to chop off that one guy's leg that was stuck in the bear trap? In season 3 for Walking Dead, there was a scene where Rick had to cut off a guy's leg, and it was like exactly kind of like the same, where the guy actually got bitten on the ankle, and so he just took an axe right away, just hacked away. I was like, oh, you know,
nice.
Yeah, so
playing homage to each other.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really cool.
All right, so the official PlayStation magazine's cutting its run at December, along with Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power, yeah.
All the magazines are going away. Now I think the only official one left is Xbox.
Wow.
So.
And that might. When's that one gonna go?
December. Right, just get rid of them all at once.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
swoop.
I think Game Informer does so well just because it comes with
GameStop. Yeah.
Right. So, and I actually don't even get that one anymore. I elected for the digital version just because I can read it on my phone wherever I want. And
I think I have a game.
I like them though, but it's kind of sad to see another magazine go. Oh well. And then finally, Sony announced that there will be DLC for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That is a long acronym.
Yeah, it is.
But
Saber.
Yep, Saber. Yeah. But they said it'll be characters, environments. So maybe we'll get Crash Bandicoot eventually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash, Snake, Mega Man.
Yeah,
he makes his way in the lot.
Yeah, he does. Now, he does.
Except his own games.
So true. So true. Well, there's another character I was thinking of that, you know, would suffer from the same fate. That would like show up in other games, but not in his own. I can't think of him right now.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
It'll be these Resident Evil characters soon. So, Resident Letdown. Start us off. This is your topic. So.
I was just having a discussion earlier today, and you know, I'm a disgruntled Resident Evil fan. You know, because like a friend of mine had asked if I had played Resident Evil 6 yet, and I said no. And I mean, it's not Resident Evil isn't what it used to be, and you know, it's like if you like Resident Evil 5, I was okay with. Right. You know, I was entertained. It still wasn't the Resident Evil that it used to be. You know, it wasn't scary or anything like that. Like Capcom has said since day one, when they did the first Resident Evil, that they wanted it to be a cooperative game. Like they had old modes and stuff, or games set up that were 2-player.
Right.
They've always wanted to do co-op. You know, like you can kind of see, not necessarily a remnant, like in Resident Evil 2, where they had to do the A game and the B game, like two things going on at once. I mean, they compromised for what they couldn't do because the hardware couldn't do it.
Right.
You know, and so when they finally got to do live, like a straight up balls to the wall co-op, you know, I mean, I was happy with it. You know, it was like it was fun, but it's an action game.
Right. The problem with co-op for that kind of game is it takes a lot of the suspense out. Like,
Mhm.
I'm worried about Dead Space 3 for that same reason that, like, when you're alone and stuff, it's a lot more suspenseful.
Yeah.
Even if things are just as difficult and, you know, there's just as much type of scares, with two people, you always have that other person, you know, with you, and that other person is always going to make some funny remark or something.
Yeah, it takes away from the ambience, you know, the environment, the atmosphere, and that's been an element that had been fading away since Resident Evil 4. You know, like Code Veronica, kind of. I mean, Code Veronica still had the atmosphere, but I mean, it's just, it's Capcom has slowly been getting out of touch.
Right.
And you know, I mean that is Capcom for us. You know,
Yeah.
they like to just pump stuff out.
Capcom, don't pull the Capcom.
Yeah, and they kind of have been. So I mean, Resident Evil 6, I played the demo, like I said earlier. I played the demo and I just did not want to play it anymore. You know? Or I had no urge to, I need to go out of my way to get this or play this. You know,
Now,
trade in stuff for it. Nah.
Now there was a portable one. I don't know if it was on the DS or on the Vita, but it takes place on a ship, and they actually say that one got like back to its roots. Like
I have heard about that one. It was called No, it wasn't Generations.
Something like that. Though.
Revelations.
Revelations.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the one that people said that was the best Resident Evil game in a long time.
Right, because it got back to the roots, and even though it didn't really have traditional zombies in it, from what I've seen, it had like these liquid monsters, and that brought the tension back because those liquid monsters could come out of anywhere, like grates, ceilings, walls, stuff like that. So that might be something to explore. Unfortunately, neither one of us have a portable.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure they'll beef up the graphics and make a remake and put it on the network.
Why not? They need to, or just remake the game for the consoles or something. I don't know.
Right.
They need to do something.
Yeah, I agree that Resident Evil's kind of fallen from the graces. Honestly, I'd say Devil May Cry is almost closer to Resident Evil than Resident Evil is.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I just don't. They got so like out of touch. Keeps coming to mind. It's just that's what it feels like. Like they had a set mode for what they wanted to do, and then they just, you know.
Yeah, it could be the whole Japanese game thing where they're trying to adapt to a market that they can't to. Like they say that a lot in like the RPGs and stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's very very true because I want to say the first 3 Resident Evil games, first 3, because I'm trying to think of like Code Veronica, where does that fit in, you know, stuff like that. But the very first 3 Resident Evil games, you could tell it was trying to appeal to a, you know, predominantly American culture. You know, they were trying to be realistic and everything. But then as you, now my arguments, I'm kind of like changing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just because when 4 came out, they were still trying to appeal to us.
Right.
You know, they like action, they like shooters, they like games that you don't have to think too much about. No, not too many puzzles or anything like that. But they just, when they changed, they added that Japanese type flair to it. They just made stuff kind of out there.
Like outlandish. Like,
yeah.
Like the Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you guys saw the Fist of the North Star video. That was like, Fist of the North Star is a Japanese anime, and I mean, it's weird.
It's over the top. Like,
yeah.
People always say, like, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was like the big popular one, and now Naruto is like the popular one. But like Fist of the North Star was like extremely over the top.
Yeah. So that over the topness, you know, plus trying to appeal to us, it didn't work.
They're Michael Baying it up.
They are.
That's the problem.
They are. That's kind of why. I mean, it's a little bit off topic, but that's why I'm kind of looking forward to the new Star Wars stuff, because it like maybe with a different set of hands on it, it might not be so over the top.
Yeah, and I mean some of the names for directors that they're throwing around are pretty crazy, like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be interesting.
So do you think a new director needs to take over for Resident Evil?
Honestly, I think so. Like Devil May Cry was starting to get a little stale. Like I really like Devil May Cry 4, but it was nowhere near as good as 3, and I don't really count 2. But when they handed it over to Team Ninja, like initially everybody was like freaked out by the way Dante looked, but nobody ever questioned the gameplay once they saw it. And as they're seeing more of the game, they're like, "Wow, this really is Devil May Cry that's new and exciting." So honestly, I think it couldn't hurt.
Would Cliffy B be your choice?
I don't know. As a game director, like I said last week, I think he could be a good consultant, because there were some creepy moments in Gears of War. Like Gears of War was very fast paced and very action heavy, but at least I really remember in like the first one and stuff, and sometimes in the second one, like when you come across the Lambit for the first time, there were some pretty like suspenseful moments.
Yeah.
And then of course they blow the walls open and just bum rush you. But I think Cliffy B can create that atmosphere. It's just whether or not they can get the gameplay around that atmosphere. That's less Gears of War.
That's the hard part. Because like if you look at never played Resident Evil 6, but I still look at the Resident Evil forums and everything. I still read them and everything. There's a way you can look at all the campaigns and see who's playing the campaign the most. Everybody's playing the Leon campaign the most, and that's the one that's more slower paced, more survival horror oriented, and you're actually fighting zombies.
Nobody likes a campaign where you basically play as Brock Lesnar and you body slam all the zombies.
No, they don't.
Who knew?
So I mean,
that was so dumb.
Resident Evil needs to change.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about more Resident Evil stuff, I'm sure. So Raccoon City, you don't.
I was just about to bring Raccoon City up. I was waiting to, like right before you about to segue to the next one. I was gonna be like, I was gonna say like Raccoon City. I was gonna shout it out.
Raccoon City. That's not a Resident Evil game. That's a SOCOM game that failed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our next topic is continuing the trend of console wars. We are on generation 6, 5 or 6.
Yeah, something like that.
Technically, our third round, because we skipped a couple of the real early stuff, because the games apparently cost $33,000.
Yeah.
So
we couldn't afford those.
This generation is a big one. There were 4 consoles in this generation.
There were.
I think this is the only generation where there were 4 consoles active.
Yeah.
The previous generation actually had 5 consoles, but 2 of them didn't really sell.
No.
Whereas this, PlayStation, the original Xbox, the Dreamcast, and the GameCube. Yeah. So the big 4. So I guess we'll start with PlayStation. Let me turn the sound down so you can hear us and not these videos. That's okay. I can cut them together. So top 10 PlayStation 2 games. What do you remember about the PlayStation 2?
I remember. Oh, this is the 2, not the 1. I remember I remember buying it, and oh man, Jak and Daxter.
Yeah. Once the video gets going, man.
Yeah, that was that Jak and Daxter had to be the very first game I completed 100%.
I know, man. I did the same thing with Ratchet and Clank. I never played Jak and Daxter, and everybody says I missed out on it. So I might actually pick up that collection now that it's around.
Oh, it's so worth it. I mean, like that game was so designed to, wow. It was designed to be like addictive, and like you just wanted to go out of your way and collect all the little thingies. Oh man.
You remember this?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X. 10 might be up there for my favorite Final Fantasy.
What was the tiger dude's name again? Did it start with a K?
Him?
Yeah.
I forget.
Dang. Wait. Kimari.
Kamari. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 10 would probably be up there for like my favorite Final Fantasy if Tidus wasn't such a jerk. There we go, Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, I mean, like, from early on, I knew... I mean, should we wait before we give our... what we choose would win?
Yeah, we'll wait till the end. But, I mean, 2 had everything going for it. It had network support eventually. It had all the game support. It had the graphical prowess. I mean, some of these games still look pretty good.
So some of them still look good. Like, even when I was looking at Final Fantasy X again, I was like, this, I mean, it still looks pretty good.
Now just wait till they do the HD remake
Exactly,
of that.
that's what I'm thinking.
That's why I'm wondering why it's taken so long. 'Cause
Mhm.
they can't have that much to do to it.
No.
But
That's why people would think that maybe it was like a remake. Yeah. Oh,
Kingdom
man,
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, yeah.
you can't talk about PlayStation 2 without talking about Kingdom Hearts. I
Mhm.
mean, it spawned a whole new set of games.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, PlayStation 2 was huge.
It was, yeah, it was huge. It was super huge. I remember getting it, and you know, it was like one of the very first things I got with my new job. I couldn't afford any of the games. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was so sold on the backwards compatibility. Like,
Right,
wasn't this
that
one
was
of the
cool
first
too.
first things with backwards compatibility? Because it was using the CDs or whatever.
Right.
And
So, there's Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, there's Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, let's see what else we got. We don't really have time to watch all
Yeah.
of these 10-minute videos.
So what? Xbox next?
There you go.
Metal Gear Solid. This is the third one.
Yeah, Snake Eater. God of War 2,
Oh
I mean.
yeah, God of War.
Now, you never played God of War.
Never did.
You missed out, man, because those games were crazy. Now, I actually never played God of War 2 on PlayStation 2. I only got to play it once the HD remake came out. But I have played God of War 2.
There's like Eco.
Shadows of the Colossus,
Yeah.
this one.
Okay.
That is probably one of my all-time favorite games. That could almost win the pick alone for me, because it was so different. The story was so, like, in-depth, you know, and it like tugs on the heartstrings. Like, it's one of those few games that you play and you get to the end and you feel bad because you got to the end, and it doesn't have a very happy ending. So, and let's see, what are they?
Those look awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what they rated as number 1.
Eco?
Shadows of the Colossus.
Oh, Shadow of the Colossus.
So, but so that's PlayStation. Xbox.
Okay, let's see some Xbox games.
We can only see one Xbox game, because there really is only one Xbox.
That is so true.
This is Halo 2. Like
you want to know something funny? We were just watching some Halo 4 video, and after seeing this Halo 1 stuff,
yeah,
it hasn't changed that much at all.
The graphics have gotten prettier, but why would you mess with, you know?
Yeah, true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Add a couple new weapons, new game modes. You know, and there's only so much you can do to team deathmatch.
Mm-hmm.
But like Halo 4, there's a lot of new game modes and stuff that are cool that we didn't watch. But honestly, like, the gameplay hasn't changed.
No.
But why would you? I mean, Halo, I'd say Halo, if not GoldenEye, is the daddy of multiplayer shooters.
Oh yeah, it is.
At least console based. So, but there were other good Xbox games. I mean, there was Crimson Skies, Morrowind
came out.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I'd give Xbox the big plug just because it was still multiplayer. Like, it took what Nintendo did with the N64 and improved upon
and
it.
it was the first, like, American console.
So, all right, GameCube, Nintendo.
I mean, hey, I liked it. I really liked that Zelda game, Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's
really
on
like
I think that's really far up
Okay.
there. Nintendo lives and dies by its first person. It's in-house games.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you think about what games are on the GameCube, you immediately think of, like, Smash Brothers, Zelda, Mario, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart,
Mario Kart,
and Metroid. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's. And hopefully, you know, Nintendo can get out of this, like, that, not necessarily rut, but, you know,
they need third-party support to stay competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm really pleased. Like, I'm not a huge Wii U supporter. I've said it before. Like, I'm not convinced on it, but I'm really pleased that they're really pushing that third-party support.
Yeah, they need that.
Right. You know, I haven't played a Mario Kart since Mario 64.
Wow. Well, you remember, didn't they have a Rogue Squadron, that Star Wars game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super Monkey Ball. This is actually one of the hardest games ever made. But it's cool. Like, I honestly don't think of Monkey Ball as a GameCube game, though. It was multi-platform. So
Yeah, I do remember being on other systems.
yeah, and arcade and stuff like that. Let's see. But I mean,
GameCube did have the remake for Resident Evil.
yeah, that's on here.
Okay.
It's higher up. But number 1, Super Smash Bros.
Super Smash Bros.
I mean, it's such a huge game. I don't know what's going on with that video. It's just the video I downloaded. But Smash Brothers is so fun. I mean, you and I can sit here and play the original for hours.
Remake of a classic map.
Yep. So, and finally, Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, I would say, might be the underdog in this category.
It is. I mean, I'll tell you right now, it's my runner-up.
Right.
It's my runner-up. I remember getting a Dreamcast. My mom came home. She picked it up from a yard sale. So she got a Dreamcast for like $50, and it came with like a whole bunch of games. You know, I got Skies of Arcadia. I mean, the person basically just threw the game away. Threw the system away. For $50, I got Resident Evil, Code Veronica, Skies of Arcadia, all kind. I forget the other ones that I got. Games that weren't that important, but you know the ones that the game that I really went out to get, was PSO, Fantasy Star Online. That game changed the way me and my brother viewed video games.
Yeah.
Because it was like the very first console online game.
Of course.
And I mean
it was one of the early MMOs.
It was exactly an early MMO. Like we were interacting with other players, and playing with them, and trading weapons, and buying things together, and like working together as a team to fight monsters.
Yep.
You know, it was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sad that Sega has failed at replicating that same feel. You know, they did PSU or Fantasy Star Universe, and it just did not have the same feel that the original had. I mean, they did announce a PSO 2. They finally announced a PSO 2, and it just, I mean, I looked at some of the video and it just didn't look.
I think it's going to be hard to replicate that nowadays anyway, just because of the fact that Typing of the Dead.
Oh, I do remember that.
That's so funny. Herpes. But yeah, I do. Dreamcast. I never owned a Dreamcast, but I actually wanted a Dreamcast because the Sonic games look cool.
Skies of Arcadia. This had to be one of my favorite.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
I mean, look at it. For the time, it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though it kind of has that Final Fantasy VII feel to it.
Yeah, it does.
So let's see what else we got on here. We got more of that.
Shenmue. Oh my gosh!
How could you forget Shenmue?
Yeah. How could I forget it?
Oh, yep. Street Fighter 3.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. And Plasma Sword.
Power Stone.
Power Stone, yeah.
Yeah, Power Stone was like a Smash Brothers.
Yep. That was their answer.
Mm-hmm. And it was good.
It was good. So, we've seen the contenders.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to pick.
Yeah.
You're going with PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the PlayStation.
Honestly, during the height of the systems, I'd probably go with Xbox on Halo alone.
Wow.
Like, in terms of just what the console meant to me, personally. Long term, you can't argue with PlayStation 2. I mean, PlayStation 2 was turning out games 2 years into... good games 2 years into PlayStation 3's life.
Exactly, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
So I'd overall give it to PlayStation 2, but in terms of like memories and stuff like that, I have so many fond Halo memories. Like when I worked at Circuit City, we used to have an Xbox in the back of in like our break room, and when we'd all go on break, Halo with 4 people was amazing, and in that tight environment where we all knew each other, we were all friends. It was just so fun.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of why I miss Halo, because those were good times. Like even Halo 3, which I'm sure will come up next week.
Yeah, it will.
Next week is the big one. Next week is current gen.
Yeah, I think I know my answer to that one too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another tough one, but I think I know my answer.
I think I know my answer too, and it's probably gonna surprise you. So, but I'm gonna go with PlayStation. I have to. There's just
PS2.
there's just so many good games for PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So much support.
Like I remember going in when the PS3 came out. I remember there were still PS2 games that I knew I definitely wanted to play still.
Right.
You know, with backwards compatibility. Like, it just PS2 had that lasting effect.
Yep.
You know, you didn't want to, like when the Wii came out, you didn't really think about your GameCube anymore. Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about the Wii yet.
True.
So, all right, well, you're gonna do a review for LA Noire, and you're gonna wing it.
I'm gonna wing this.
So, we're back.
Okay. Yeah.
Go.
LA Noire is, I mean, imagine Grand Theft Auto. That isn't Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
A sandbox game that isn't too sandboxy. It is I mean, you are in this game. It's set in the 1940s, late 1940s. I think 1946, 1947, and you play as a detective for the Los Angeles Police Department. Now, you start out as a regular beat cop, and you do missions, or you do story mode stories, and you eventually get a promotion to traffic cop. I think this is the traffic cop stuff. And you know, you rise in rank, and you can move on to like homicides and then arson cases, or you get demoted to arson. But you know, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it's a really what I liked about this game was just the mechanics of getting through these cases.
Right.
Now, the story takes place during the post the Black Dahlia murders.
Okay.
You know, so and it kind of wraps up. It's a fictionalized twist on the Black Dahlia killer, and you know, you're solving those serial murders. Cool. And I mean, I that's what I really liked about the story. That's a real huge pro. I mean, the graphics looked really good. I liked the characters. I like working with you know, your partner. You know, like you might not like a partner when you first get them, get assigned to a partner, but you know, eventually they grow on you. You know, like, hey, I don't like this guy, but hey, he's actually an okay dude. You know.
Right.
And your character also used to be was a former Marine, so this is like right after World War II. So you got like veterans that have come home, and you know, they're trying to adapt to like a way of life. Like he joined your character joined the LAPD. You know, others are trying to find jobs and like just get things going.
Right.
The GIs since the GIs are coming back, housing is a big issue, and like building housing for them. So you know, that comes in like arson. Like, hey, why is this house burning down? They're trying to get are they trying to get insurance money?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. So I mean, I like how grounded into reality this game was.
It seems very well thought out.
But what I didn't like, a con definitely for the story, was that you know, you get so tied up with your main character's name is Phelps,
right.
Cole Phelps. You get so tied up into Phelps's life as a detective, but it never really goes into his life as a person. So late into the game, when you try to where they try to throw his personal life into it, you don't care too much about it because you know
you've always been the detective.
You've always been a detective. You know,
right.
Okay, this is the interesting case. This is actually one of the first traffic cases where you find like a car is missing. There's a bunch of blood inside. You got to figure out what's going on. You got to question the eyewitnesses, everything like that. Another good thing about this game, I forgot to mention, the graphics. You know, the facial animation for the characters. I mean, it looks really realistic. Like, I mean, these actors, like this guy right here, he's in Mad Men or something, Breaking Bad. He's in one of those shows.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way the face moves, they look exactly like their actor. Like I've seen at least a handful of actors that are recognized from their actual movies and TV shows.
That's amazing.
Really good. This game, like I said before, is grounded in realism. Like once you start getting to the murder cases, I mean, some of it's tough to swallow.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you're investigating a murder of a woman, you know, the Black Dahlia, he left his victims naked, you know, writing on them and stuff like that, and they were beaten to death, and you know, I mean, it's graphic. You know, when you see an actual fully nude body in this game, and you're standing over it, and you're like examining it, looking at her hands, like seeing that the ring was pulled off, you know, stuff like that. I mean, it's very graphic. So I mean, keep that in mind if you're squeamish at heart. I mean,
or young.
Yeah, or young, exactly. Yeah, I mean. But I mean, very adult game. It didn't feel like a Grand Theft Auto game. You know, even though it had that look
it looks
and feel
like,
to
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's definitely not. Like the shooting in it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the shooting in it felt like a Grand Theft Auto, but other than that, it was a solid. It felt like an adventure game.
Cool.
That's probably what kept me going, you know. But overall, if I had to give this game a score, I'd give it 8.5 out of 10.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Honestly, this one slid past me. Did you?
Yeah.
I had heard about it. I'd seen the videos. I'd seen the promo videos of like the facial animation. In fact, that was almost the video I got. But then I decided to just do some gameplay. I mean, it looks really cool. For a Grand Theft Auto type game.
Yeah, yeah. See how
Different.
see how right here he's like picking up the wallet. Now you find that person's ID. You know where he lives. Now you can go investigate his house and interview his wife and stuff like that. I mean, I just liked the way this game was set up.
Right.
You know, like finding clues and stuff, and like interrogating people. Like, you know, they lie to the police.
Right.
You know, they lie to the police, and it's frustrating because that hampers you in your case, in your investigation.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's fun.
And you have to pick out like them lying and stuff, right?
You have to choose. Yeah, you get a choice of whether they're telling the truth, if you doubt them, or if they're straight up lying. And if they are lying, you need to have the evidence. You need to have found the evidence in your investigation to like back that up, or
they stonewall you.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So.
Yeah, I mean it looks really exciting. You said you're almost done with it, right?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh,
I ended up finishing it the other day. I mean, this is noir, so it's grounded in reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks pretty
Mm-hmm.
interesting. If I get an Xbox, I might want to play it. I don't
It is
know.
on PS3.
I know, but I don't know if I'd go out and buy it. money's
Oh,
tight.
that's true. That's true.
Money's tight, and
Yeah.
I'd rather get an Xbox because then I can get Halo
Yeah.
4. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what'd you say?
8.5.
8.5 out of
I was thinking 9, but
8.5.
yeah, 8.5.
That's a solid score.
Yeah, it's a solid score.
It's a B
Mhm.
plus. So, all right. Well, my review is actually going to be a little quick review, because it's more going to be like jumping off of your review. I'm
Mhm.
actually going to review Enemy Unknown, and I use review in quotations because I've never played it on anything other than normal and gotten anywhere of significance. So I do have a video.
It's gonna crash.
No,
Nice. Can I just say I like the music in this game?
XCOM.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually all the sound in this
Yeah.
game, like the the splatters, the hits,
Mhm.
everything, like all of that is really good. I mean, the game as a whole feels really balanced. The rewards for tactical thinking are definitely there. Like they definitely did that. I do have a little bit of a problem with there are some logistical things that bother me with this game. Like I brought up, if you move closer to an enemy, but maintain the same angle, it doesn't increase your chance to hit, which that doesn't make sense to me. Like if you're
No.
closer and he's still leaning outside, you should at least go up a little bit. You know, if he's behind cover and stuff like that, I can see how it wouldn't go from 40 to 80%, but
Mhm.
40 to 60 or something like that. Especially when, like in this map, what would happen is, and of course he moves. But like say in that store, I had a guy there, and there was an alien up there.
Mhm.
From there, I would take the shot, and it would be like 25%. If I moved up, it's kind of hard to see, but if I moved up to like one of these pillars here, my shot would stay at like 25%.
Yeah.
Because I didn't technically change the angle that I was looking at him, and that kind of bothered me.
Yeah, I remember them. I remember in the forums a lot of people complained about the game's like range is called range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just some wonky stuff with that, but honestly, I think once you get used to the game mechanics,
Mhm.
that probably goes away. Like this game seems very, very, very grounded in flanking. Like
Mhm.
you have to flank in order to be successful, especially in the later missions. So
Yeah.
graphics look good. I really had no complaints. Nothing amazing, but
Mhm.
nothing bad.
Yeah. Better than when it was.
Well, yeah, I've seen the original. So, yeah, I guess I should preface this. I played the original, but I was never huge into it. Like I said, I guess when you did the review, I was more into the RTS side of stuff, like StarCraft and
Yeah.
So I'm not fanatical about the original like you are, which isn't a bad thing. We all had our own games back then. But the single player campaign I thought was fun. It was rewarding. You know, it always kept you pushing for that next upgrade. But it was a little slow in the beginning, and even on when I did my very first playthrough on easy, there's a tutorial mode, but I feel like this tutorial mode doesn't set you up to win. This tutorial mode basically says, here's everything you should be doing, figure out
The rest.
when to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that kind of hampered me when easy. I didn't really lose any missions on easy, but, you know, the base side of the game, you know, I lost 4 or 5 nations by the time my first satellite was built because I delayed so long. So I think the game could do a little bit early game to help newer players, you know, with that base side of stuff. Like, okay, you need to build a satellite first. Like, as soon as you get the stuff, you need to build an uplink.
Yeah, I didn't understand that until it was too late. At least
right,
I lost and I think I lost 1 nation, and then eventually, but like the very first, like you're kind of set up to fail.
Right.
In the beginning, which was was so different from the original. In the original, you didn't lose countries until the end of the month. That's when you got your report card.
Right.
You know
Whereas
what I mean?
this, you could lose them at any time.
Yeah, you can lose them at any time, and yeah, I didn't like that too much. Like the more I've been playing the original, I was like, oh man, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. But honestly, it's a fun game. I haven't delved into multiplayer yet, but I can see how that could be real fun, like tactical versus tactical. I think there are some gameplay stuff that they need to fix, like I said, the accuracy and stuff like that. Now I understand people say that's XCOM, but it just bothers me as a logical thinking person. If I get closer to them, I should have a little bit better chance to hit, unless it's like a super terrible angle, which you know, none of the shots I was doing were awful. Like they were straight shots. So. You know, I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. Like, I've had a lot of fun with it, and as I get better with it, I'm sure I'll have a lot more fun with it. And I may even try to do the Let's Play eventually. I do enjoy the thinking behind the game, that it really rewards tactical thinking, and the fact that you can set your Marines up and then blow out a wall and just take out like all the aliens because there's no cover there. But those moments to me were so few and far between that they should have played that up a little more.
Yeah, the destructible environment.
Right, but when it happens, it's amazing. Like you're like, I am, you know, a tactical genius, but I'm not. I am definitely not a tactical genius. So, all right. But yeah, I mean, overall, 9 out of 10 from a new player, a person that never played the original. It's a fun game, so
it is fun. Very cool.
Yep. Well, I think that'll about do it.
I might play it after this.
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
Okay. I have a rate at 8, so that I will probably stream. Maybe.
Cool.
It depends. If we can actually get going at 8, I will stream it. If we had a delay on Saturday because a couple people were late.
Trying to beat your first boss?
We beat the first boss.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we downed the first boss. Second boss did not go well. I think the best attempt that we had was 84%. So Nikki was actually back there as we were attempting the second boss, and she was like, "How can you keep doing that? Just going in and dying, and going in and dying, and going in and dying." I was like, "It's perseverance, because you want to take this guy down." And then we started making bets on what percentage we would all die at. And she was dead on for a couple of them. But we'll get it. I mean, it's tough. It's all new content, and people, the problem is when you go from when a new expansion releases, all the old gear you have is obsolete. So you basically got to hit 90 and then start over. So a lot of people were under-geared and stuff like that. And I think that's what made a big difference with us finally killing the boss last week. is because we had another week, more people got gear, executed the strategy. So, yeah, one boss down. We are now ranked 11 on our server.
That's cool.
World ranking 450 million probably. So, yeah, my guild fields 2 raid teams. The first raid team is ahead of us again. We were tied with them because they had the first boss, but they got the second boss down on Sunday.
Now you were the second level 90 monk.
Second, yep, second level 90 monk. I am still actually second on the server for gear and my logs. So
that's cool.
Tearing it up, but like I said, I'll probably stream that if we can get going. You are posting the Let's Plays.
Yeah, on the YouTube for Gamers Digest podcast on YouTube. So just look up Gamers Digest podcast. It's under the Let's Play XCOM Sports Challenge playlist. I'm going to be uploading the videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
You know.
We have the Terraria videos. We have pretty much the first 3. They're going to be about 20 minutes each. I have to re-render them. But they will probably, I will probably roll them out because they're nice because, you know, we sit and play for an hour and a half and that's like 3 episodes. But then I can roll them out when I please. But I'll probably roll them out either 1 or 2 a week. And that way we always have a cushion if, you know, we need to take a week off or something like that. And, you know, the nice thing about Terraria is, like, we sit Monday nights and play it, but you can really just sit down and play it whenever and record a 20-minute show.
Okay.
So we might sneak some more in there if we have time.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Right. And if we can get some, and that may change too, because if we can get more people involved, it's going to be even more fun. Like, just you and I is fun, but you start getting people digging in all different directions and going crazy. Especially if we turn PvP on.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see if my brother wants to play.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, that'll about wrap us up for tonight. It was a pretty good show, like an hour long.
Good.
So, we will see you guys eventually.
Ciao.
Gamers Digest is a Spyder1 and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.